trying to charge and do it at the same time. And the phone has an issue charging, and see if I like to. No, it's still not charging. There we go. All right. And now it's charging, so I'm gonna read as much as I was trying to read before until the phone dies or whatever. And that's just that's as matter of fact as I would go ahead to say it. I'll just read. And it came to pass in the 10th year, in the 5th month, the 10th day of the month, that certain of the elders of Israel came to inquire of Yah, and sat before me. Then came the word of Yah unto me, saying, Son of man, speak unto the elders of Israel, and say unto them, Thus saith Yah, are ye come to inquire of me? As I live, saith Yah, I will not be inquired of by you. Will thou judge them, son of man? Will thou judge them? Cause them to know the abomination of their fathers, and say unto them, Thus saith Yah, in the day when I chose Israel, and lifted up mine hand unto the seed of the house, your Creator, in the day that I lifted up mine hand unto them to bring them forth of the land of Egypt into a land that I espied for them, flowing with milk and honey, which is the glory of all lands. Then said I unto them, Cast ye away every man the abomination of his eyes, and defile not yourselves with the idols of Egypt. I am Yah, but they rebelled against me, and would not hearken unto me. They did not every man cast away the abomination of their eyes, neither did they forsake the idol in bringing them forth out of the land of Egypt. Wherefore I caused them to go forth out of the land of Egypt, and brought them into the wilderness. Moreover also I gave them my Sabbaths to be a sign between me and them. It's got to be a sign, so it's got to be visibly kept. Whew. To be a sign between me and them, and that they might know that I am Yah that sanctify them. But the house of Israel rebelled against me in the wilderness. They walked not in my statutes, and they despised my judgments, which if a man do, he shall even live in them. And my Sabbaths they greatly polluted. Then I said, I would pour out my fury upon them in the wilderness to consume them, but I wrought for my name's sake, that it should not be polluted before the heathen, whose sight I brought them out. Yet also I lifted up mine hand unto them in the wilderness, that I would not bring them into the land statutes, but polluted my Sabbaths, for their heart went after their idols. Nevertheless, mine eye spared them from destroying them, neither did I make an end in the wilderness. And I said unto their children in the wilderness, walk ye not in the statutes of your fathers, neither observe their judgments, nor defile yourself with their idols. I am Yah your Creator. Walk in my statutes, and keep my judgments, and do them, and hallow my Sabbaths, and they shall be a sign between me and you. And ye may know that I am Yah your Creator. Notwithstanding, the children rebelled against me. They walked not in my statutes, neither kept my judgments to do them, which if a man do, he shall live even in them. They polluted my Sabbaths, and I said I would pour out my fury upon them to accomplish my anger against them in the wilderness. Nevertheless, I withdrew my hand and wrought for my name's sake, should not be polluted in the sight of the heathen, in whose sight I brought them forth. I lifted up my hand. Sure. I want to. Who? Israel? Okay. You need that. Do you want the car seat? All right. We're doing a bit of camping. Oh, y'all can sit in the car seat that my son sits in. They're little babies, and just listen to the Bible. Just listen. There we go. It's charging. That 20, I think I read that whole one when I was on a live, and it quotes Deuteronomy 32 like at least 3 times, I think, and then I don't know if I read 21. I'll presume that I did, and you guys could just go and read it yourself anyways. I wanted to read this, so I decided to hop on and read it. So, I'm going to read Ezekiel 22 here. Moreover, all her abominations, then say thou, thus saith Yah, the city sheddeth blood in the midst of it, that her time may come, and maketh idols against herself to defile herself. Thou art become guilty in thy blood that thou hast shed, and hast defiled thyself in thine idols which thou hast made, and thou hast caused thy days to draw near, and are come even unto thy years. Therefore have I made thee a reproach unto the heathen, and a mocking to all countries. Those that be near and those that be far from thee shall mock thee, which art infamous and much vexed. Behold, the princes of Israel, every one were in thee to their power to shed blood. In thee have they set light by father and mother, in the midst of thee have they dealt by oppression with the stranger. In thee have they vexed the fatherless and the widow. Thou hast despised mine holy things, and hast profaned my Sabbaths. In thee are men that carry tales to shed blood, and in thee they eat upon the mountains. In the midst of thee they commit lewdness. In thee have they discovered their father's nakedness. In thee have they humbled her that was set apart for pollution. And one hath committed abomination with his neighbor's wife, and another hath rudely defiled his daughter, in law another. In thee have humbled his sister, his father's daughter. In thee have they taken gifts to shed blood. Thou hast taken usury and increase, and thou hast greedily gained off thy neighbors by extortion, and hast forgotten me, saith Yah. Behold, therefore I have smitten mine hand at thy dishonest gain, which thou hast made, and at thy blood which hath been in the midst of thee. Can thine heart endure, or can thine hands be strong in the days that I shall deal with thee? I have spoken it, and will do it, and I will scatter thee among the heathen, and disperse thee in the countries, and will consume thy filthiness out of thee, and thou shalt take thine inheritance in thyself in the sight of the heathen, and thou shalt know that I am Yah. And the word of Yah came unto me, saying, Son of man, the house of Israel is to me become dross. All they are brass and tin and iron and lead in the midst of the furnace. They are even the dross of silver. Therefore thus saith Yah, because ye are all become dross, behold, therefore I will gather you into the midst of Jerusalem, as they gather silver and brass and iron and lead and tin into the midst of the furnace, to blow the fire upon it, to melt it. So will I gather you in mine anger and in my fury, and I will leave you there and melt you. Yea, I will gather you and blow upon you in the fire of my wrath, and ye shall be melted in the midst thereof. As silver is melted in the midst of the furnace, so shall ye be melted in the midst thereof, and ye shall know that I, Yah, have poured out my fury upon you. And the word of Yah came unto me, saying, Son of man, say unto her that thereof, like a roaring lion ravening the prey. They have devoured souls, they have taken the treasure and precious things. They have made her many widows in the midst thereof. Her priests have violated my law, and have profaned mine holy things. They have put no difference between the holy and profane. Neither have they showed difference between the unclean and the clean, and have hid their eyes from my Sabbaths, and I am profaned among them. See Exodus 3 right there. Her princes in the midst thereof are like wolves ravening the prey, to shed blood, and to destroy souls, to get dishonest gain. And her prophets have daubed them with untempered mortar, seeing vanity and divining lies unto them, saying thus saith Yah, when Yah hath not spoken, the people of the land have used oppression and exercised robbery, and have vexed the poor and needy. Yea, they have oppressed the stranger wrongfully. I sought for a man among them that should make up the hedge and stand in the gap before me for the land, that I should not destroy it, but I found none. Therefore have I poured out mine indignation upon them. I have consumed them with the fire of my wrath. Their own way have I recompensed upon their heads, saith Yah. Not settling down. Oh, didn't I tell you to shut up and read? And didn't I tell you to shut up and just listen to the Bible? If I was just reading the Bible and wasn't talking, I asked you to shut up. I'd appreciate that, and my Heavenly Father would appreciate that too. Especially when it's just His Word being read, you know. I ain't gonna yell about it right now, though. It ain't all about yelling. Man. Where did I put that? We're taking here? Oh, here we go. Potatoes are like the best peasant food. Homed with the potato. I love being a peasant though, actually. It's more real. Gosh, my hair sticky from like tree sap and shit, you know? I find it funny that the beer that I found and drank because I started up the lawnmower, and then probably about 2 or 3 months ago, or maybe before that, I'd like to read the description actually before I go to sleep. It's about the king's mowings, about Jehovah's mowings, the king's mowings. What's that? The weed whacker got started. What made people think they were getting away with it? Yeah. All right. Chapter 23. Oh, about chapter 22. I used to be a part of this group called Exodus X. It was like my first time hearing about the Exodus, the second Exodus, and the group was promoting like, yeah, run and get your passports and get to Jerusalem. That doesn't sound like a great idea nowadays. Praise yeah, I ain't in that group anymore. Check out my brothers and sisters' videos, straight as the gate. I was so happy when I received the day dawning, the true Sabbath. Before that, I felt like I was going totally nuts. You know, because people on the lunar, they become lunatics, you know. I just look like one. The word of Yah came again unto me, saying, Son of man, there were two women. Oh, wow, this chapter reminds me of that homeless guy. I think I talked about that on here. Yeah, it is. Wife and his two daughters went into harlotry. That guy had a broken heart, man. Is anybody willing to suffer with Yahusha truly? Like for real? Who is real? And the word of Yah came again unto me, saying, Son of man, there were two women, the daughters of one mother, and they committed whoredoms in Egypt. They committed whoredoms in their youth. There were their breasts pressed, and there they bruised the teats of their virginity. And the names of them were Aholah, the elder, and Aloba, her sister. And they were mine, and they bare sons and daughters. Thus were their names: Samaria, and Aloha, and Jerusalem. Aloba, and Aloha played the harlot when she was mine, and she doted on her lovers, on the Assyrians, her neighbors, which were clothed blue, captains and rulers, all of them desirable young men, horsemen riding upon horses. Bible, graphic book, eh? Anybody insulted? Thus she committed her whoredoms with them, with all them that were the chosen men of Assyria, and with all on whom she doted, with all their idols she defiled herself. Neither left she her whoredoms brought from Egypt, for in her youth they lay with her, and they bruised the breast of her virginity, and poured their whoredoms upon her. Wherefore I have delivered her into the hand of her lovers, into the hand of the Assyrians, upon whom she doted. These discovered her nakedness. They took her sons and her daughters, and slew her with the sword. And she became famous among the women, for they had executed judgments upon her. And when her sisters Aloba saw this, she was more corrupt in her inordinate love than she, and in her whoredoms more than her sister in her whoredoms. And she doted upon the Assyrians, her neighbors, captains and rulers, clothed most gorgeously, horsemen riding upon horses, all of them desirable young men. What a whore. Verse 13. And then I saw that she was defiled, that they took both one way, and that she increased her whoredoms. For when she saw men portrayed upon the wall, the images of the Chaldeans portrayed with vermilion. The Chaldeans, read Romans 13 in the book of Jude. The book of Jude's a short book, so you may as well just go and read it, not be lazy, and then read Romans 13 and see maybe a little bit of a prophecy that you don't want to have nothing to do with being on the wrong side of. Portrayed with vermilion, girded with girdles upon their loins, exceeding dyed attire upon their heads, all of them princes to look to, after the manner of the Babylonians and Chaldea, the land of their nativity. And as soon as she saw them with her eyes, she doted upon them, and sent messengers unto them in Chaldea. And the Babylonians came to her into the bed of love, and they defiled her with their whoredoms, and she was polluted with them. So just talking about adultery slash idolatry here, right? And get rid of your Christmas and Easter and crosses and all the bullshit, and then you're not being a whore like these whores were being whores. And it's saying it right there, so don't get mad at me. And as soon as she saw them with her eyes, she doted upon them, and sent messengers unto them into Chaldea and the Babylonians. She was polluted with them, and her mind was alienated from them. So she discovered her whoredoms and discovered her nakedness. Then my mind was alienated from her, like as my mind was alienated from her sister. Yet she multiplied her whoredoms, and calling to remembrance the days of her youth, wherein she had played the harlot in the land of Egypt. For she doted upon their paramours, whose flesh is as the flesh of asses, and whose issue is like the issue of horses. And call this to remembrance the lewd, and they shall come against thee with chariots, wagons, and wheels, and with the assembly of people, which shall set against thee buckler and shield and helmet round about, and I will set judgments before them. They shall judge thee according to their judgments. Wow, it sounds like shit escalated quick for that whore, for those whores, right? It's no good. They got way more than they bargained for. I bet they didn't want all that, right? But that's what they got. Sounds like great tribulation, And I will set my jealousy against thee, and they shall deal furiously with thee, and they shall take away thy nose and thine ears. Ooh. And thy remnant shall fall by the sword. Remember Deuteronomy 4 and Leviticus 26. If there's any harlots in the carnal or spiritual about, to go through some of this shit, you don't want to be on the wrong side of prophecy. My goodness. They shall take thy sons and thy daughters, and thy residue shall be devoured by the fire. They shall also strip thee out of thy clothes, and take away their fair jewels. Thus will I make thy lewdness to cease from thee, and thy whoredoms brought from the land of Egypt, so that thou shalt not lift up thine eyes unto them, nor remember Egypt any more. For thus saith Yah, behold, I will deliver thee into the hand of them whom thou hatest, into the hand of them from whom thy mind is alienated, and they shall deal with thee hatefully, and shall take away all thy labor, and shall leave thee naked and bare, and the nakedness of thy whoredoms shall be delivered. Both thy lewdness and thy whoredoms I will do these things unto thee, because thou hast gone a whoring after the heathen, and because thou art polluted with their idols. Thou hast walked in the way of thy sister, therefore will I give her cup into thine hand. And thus saith Yah, thou shalt drink of thy sister's cup, deep and large. Thou shalt be laughed to scorn and had in derision. It containeth much. Thou shalt be filled with drunkenness and sorrow, with the cup of astonishment and desolation, and the cup of thy sister Samaria. Thou shalt even drink it and suck it out, and thou shalt break the sherds thereof, and pluck off thine own breast, for I have spoken it, saith Yah. Therefore thus saith Yah, because thou hast forgotten me, and cast behind thy back, therefore bear thou also thy lewdness and thy whoredoms. Yah said moreover unto me, Son of man, wilt thou judge Eloah and Elobah? Yea, declare unto them their habitations that they have committed, and committed adultery, and blood is in their hands, and with their idols have they committed adultery, and have also caused their sons whom they bear unto me to pass for them to fire to devour them. Right? Because if you're gonna do idolatry, you're gonna be giving up your children to all the demonic portals that you're all right with opening, and that by doing idolatry, and then becoming spiritually deaf, dumb, and blind. And that's just the matter of fact reality. That's the consequence that you look at if you go ahead to go commit idolatry like that. Moreover, this they have done unto me. They have defiled my sanctuary in the same day, and have profaned my Sabbaths. There it is again. For when they had slain the children to their idols, and they came the same day into my sanctuary to profane it, and lo, thus have they done in the midst of mine house. And furthermore, that ye have sent for men to come from far, unto whom a messenger was sent, and lo, they came, for whom thou didst wash thyself, and paintest thy eyes, right? I think I've said a decent amount of times, makeup's not a good thing, that's covetousness. And deckest thyself with ornaments, and sattest upon a stately bed, and table prepared before it, whereupon thou hast set mine incense and mine oil, and the voice of a multitude being at ease was with her, and with the men of the common sort were brought, Sabians from the wilderness, which put bracelets upon their hands, and beautiful crowns upon their heads. Then said I unto her that was old in adulteries, will they now commit whoredoms with her, and she with them? Yet they went in unto her as they go in unto a woman that playeth the harlot. So went they in unto Eloah and unto Elobah, the lewd women, and the righteous men, they shall judge them after the manner of adulteresses, and after the manner of women that shed blood, because they are adulteresses, and blood is in their hands. Thus saith Yah, I will bring up a company upon them, and will give them to be removed and spoiled, and the company shall stone them with stones, and dispatch them with their swords. They shall slay their sons and their daughters, and burn up their houses with fire. Thus will I cause lewdness to cease out of the land, and all women may be taught not to do after your lewdness, and they shall recompense your lewdness upon you, and ye shall bear the sins of your idols, and ye shall know that I am Yah. I gotta check what time it is here. Yeah, it's late, man. It's time for bed, man. But, continue on. Some more Ezekiel that I wanted to read here.